what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Meal Prep Monday. I'm insanely excited today. We got a fun one. And also, before I get too far into this video, check out this outfit. Check out my pants. Look at my baggy pants. I'm insanely excited. I got these pants for Black Friday. For reference, I got these pants 3 days ago. I have worn them 3 times. Now, before anybody's like, oh, so you're just wearing the same pants every single day. No, I wore them the day that I bought them. That night, I went out and I did something, and I wore them then. And then the next day, I had work, so I wore them to work. And then I came home, I washed them, and then a day went by, and now today, third day, I'm wearing them again. They're so cute. I love them so much. Anyways, today we're making a chicken pot pie. Not chicken pot pie. That's actually not even fucking close. What did I say? We're having shepherd's pie. Let's do this, shall we? This is literally one of my favorite meals ever to make if I need something that's quick and nutritious and has veggies, because every once in a while, since I live in an Italian family, we'll go have pasta one day and then pasta the next day, and then we'll have a pizza or something, and then we'll constantly have days where we accidentally 3 nights in a row for dinner don't have a single vegetable, and I'm like, crap, what's something I can do that's really quick and it has veggies in it? This is one of my go-tos. So starting off, we're gonna go ahead and fill a pot up with water, and we're gonna boil 8 potatoes. Okay, whenever you're filling your pot up, you want to remember that the water is going to rise whenever you start putting potatoes in it, so don't fill it up too much past halfway. And then also, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of leftover chicken broth because this is going to be going bad in my fridge soon, so I might as well use it. And this little bit here, it's to there, right? It's not a lot. It's not going to do much, but it will seep in and add a little bit of flavor to the potatoes because it's, the potatoes are going to be absorbing it for at least 35 minutes while it's boiling. So I'm also going to add, to make it a little bit more soupy, I'm going to add even more, a little bit of better than Bolivian chicken, because this is something you can use to make chicken stock or chicken broth at home if you don't have any. You literally just add this to water or heavy cream if that's your preference, but I'm just going to add a little tiny spoonful. I'll show you. Something like this. This is also, for people who do not know, this is kind of the same similar stuff that they give you with ramen packets. Whenever you get ramen and you get that little packet that has a bunch of stuff in it, usually it's kind of like a powdered version of this. And it's pretty good. And it adds just a little bit of flavor to it. Okay, and a personal preference whenever I'm boiling potatoes, I like to cut them up into 4s. So I'll just quarter these real quick and throw them in there. I don't think it really changes that much, but personally, in my opinion, it makes me feel like it cooks faster. So you don't have to do that, but I'm gonna do that. And I also went ahead and skinned them a little bit. It doesn't need to be perfect. I'm not gonna be skinning it all the way because personally, when I make mashed potatoes, I actually kind of like the skin still being on the potatoes. And then, like I said, just gonna kind of cut them into quarters. Does not need to be perfect because at the end of the day, they're just gonna get boiled up anyways. And then later, they're just all gonna get smashed. So it does not need to be perfect by any means. And like I said, I'm gonna do 8 potatoes because I'm doing 2.5 pounds of ground beef. So I'm gonna need a lot of potatoes here. Okay, now all those potatoes are in there. We're gonna go ahead and let those boil up for about 45 minutes, give or take. And then I'm gonna meet you guys in about 30 minutes so we can start working on the beef. Okay, now that bad boy has been boiling for about 30 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and start working on the veggies and the beef. Veggies are super easy. You literally just get microwave veggies and you quickly heat them up for whatever time it says on the back of the bag. Okay, now while those are both going, we're going to go ahead and start working on our beef. I'm going to go ahead and throw some butter down on the pan. I know I got some fatty beef, so I honestly really don't even necessarily need to use butter or oil, but I feel like it, so I'm going to. So we're going to go ahead and do that, turn the heat onto high. Okay, then we're going to throw in a giant pack of beef. Like I said, I got 2.5 pounds. You could get how much ever you want, but I do think that because I'm meal prepping, I want this to make at least 8 meals. Because, truth be told, I don't want to have to meal prep again until Christmas, if I'm being totally honest with you. The next couple of weeks are going to be a long-ass time, so I'm just going to fill up as many Tupperware containers as I can with this shepherd's pie. So we're going to go ahead and throw this bad boy down on the pan. Bow, bow. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful, lovely, amazing. And we're going to let it start cooking up, and then I'm going to show you how we're seasoning this bad boy. Okay, now this is a shit ton of beef, so we're going to season it up with a shit ton of seasonings. We're going to do an ungodly amount of salt and pepper to start. Then a shit ton of smoked paprika. Some onion powder. A shit ton of garlic powder. I'm Italian, so I like to make sure that there's enough to kill any vampires in a 100-mile radius, to be honest. So we're just going to go crazy with this. Like I said, Absolutely crazy. That looks like a lot. Don't worry, we'll mix it in. We're going to do a very little bit of chili powder, not too much, because I'm going to do something else to add a little bit more spice here in a second. And then I'm also going to make it a little bit fancier, a little bit of ground sage. Once again, not a lot, but this is kind of going to give it more of like a beef stew-ish vibes before I absolutely change the entire vibes of this meal. I'm going to add a little bit of ground cumin as well. Anybody who's a big fan of Taco Bell, if you're ever wondering, like, man, every single Taco Bell item tastes exactly the same, it's ground cumin. That's the secret. That's how you make Taco Bell taste like Taco Bell. And now for the extra spice. This is my secret ingredient I use in so many recipes. I absolutely love it. Better than bouillon, smoky chipotle. You add this, you add a spoonful of brown sugar, and then you add a drizzle of honey, and this shit's going to be a sweet and spicy chipotle, yummy, delicious, yummy goodness. We're going to do this real quick and then change the heat down to a simmer while we're taking care of the potatoes and the veggies and stuff. Once again, I do want to show you how much we're working with. I'm doing a big-ass spoonful. I'm not lying when I say I'm doing a shit ton of this stuff, and then I'm going to add a shit ton of honey, probably 2 spoonfuls of brown sugar, and a shit ton of honey. I think I already said that, but a shit ton of honey. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and drain the potatoes and start smashing these up. And then we're going to go ahead and put about 2 tablespoons of butter in here, a little bit of milk, and then we're going to go ahead and season this up. Salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of paprika, not a whole lot because we made the meat spicy. We don't want to go ahead and make the potatoes too spicy now. And then I'm also going to add Italian seasoning. Okay, while this is still hot, you also want to go ahead and throw in half a bag of your cheese. Personally, I'm using pepper jack because I really like pepper jack cheese. You can use whatever cheese you like. I know a lot of people typically would do cheddar. That's totally fine. And now you're going to have this super cheesy mashed potatoes. That's going to be a giant mess. And we're going to go ahead and throw in both bags of mixed veggies. Then we're going to drain our beef and add that to that as well. And ta-da, we just made a shit ton of shepherd's pie. That should be absolutely yummy and delicious. And now my meal prep for the next week, it's just a shit ton of slop. And I know some people like to layer it. They like to do like the ground beef on the bottom and then the layer of the potatoes and then the layer of the veggies. Nope, I'm shoving it all together. Look at how beautiful that is. I know some of you guys are going to look at this and be like, that's not that appetizing. As a young growing boy, I like my slop and I will keep it exactly like that. And this genuinely is like 6 or 7 servings, at least. No way it's just 6 or 7 servings, actually. That might be 9. I may have gone a little fucking crazy. Do I care? Absolutely not. I'm excited. Okay, and now a segment that my meal prep videos usually don't have, and I typically get questions about it. Hey, Blake, why don't you ever actually try your meal prep in your videos? And because the whole purpose of meal prepping is to cook for my future self, so I usually make enough servings for my future self, and that's it. But today, I obviously have a shit ton. I'm going to be able to try some, so I'm going to give you guys a little review situation. It's pretty spicy. I know a lot of people, they like to have their shepherd's pie with sauce. That's why I like to make my beef like a honey chipotle beef, because I don't need sauce when it's actually really seasoned up and spiced. So cheers. That's fucking incredible. I'm going to be honest with you, this is one of my comfort meals. I know that I'm going to like it, and it's going to be really good every single fucking time. But when you do it, and you're making it with real potatoes, and sometimes you get the big chunk of potato in your bite, absolutely fucking fantastic. The veggies are simple, easy, and delicious. It makes you feel like you're having something healthy. The ground beef is the perfect level of spiciness. It's not too spicy. I do think that if I eat this entire thing, by the end of it, I'll probably be like, whoo, that has a fucking kick to it. But it's absolutely fantastic, yummy, and delicious. I think that it's got a nice little bit of sweetness to it. And personally, I don't drain the beef that much. So this is going to stay nice and moist the entire time it's in my fridge. And I'm insanely excited. This is even going to reheat as well as it is right now. And this is just fucking fantastic. So yeah, that being said, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming by checking it out. I love and appreciate you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, feel free to like and subscribe. I will see you guys next Monday for another Meal Prep Monday, and maybe other videos throughout this week. I don't know yet, but I will see you then. Peace out. Bow, bow, bow.